days at the stick. From who's got it better than us to brick by brick. It's always the 49ers way, from off-season to game day. Yeah, we talk back. It's the 49ers Cutback.
It's 49ers Cutback Podcast time. More news abounds. 49ers have news every single day and every which way. And we're here to talk about it.
Beef brewing. Hey, what's I guess you'll have to fill me in on what the beef brewing is. But look,
That's
we got
foreshadowing. So.
It is. We got a lot of good things to talk about, a lot of fun things to talk about, and apparently some beef brewing somewhere. I don't know what that is. But hey, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button right now, smack that thing into oblivion, because look, there's some fun, interesting things to talk about this week, and with reports coming out that Emmanuel Moseley is trending towards being active, and less questions about the cornerback room in terms of depth, but questions about who's going to start at corner, Ant?
That's a good question. Yeah, Emmanuel Moseley apparently is trending in a better direction than he was, last week, and we're going to find out, today if he is going to be listed as doubtful or, what is that, questionable, whatever that is. If he's questionable, there's a good chance he could play against the Packers. But he's going to be a game time decision. We know that. But it does open up the questions of who starts opposite of him if he plays. I think everyone has been getting excited about Deommodore Lenoir and what he can do and what he's been able to do. But you have Josh Norman, who's a veteran that you brought in, that you gave performance accelerants. Makes me think that there's going to be an opportunity for him to play. His film backed up his performance. Besides the 2 pass interference calls, he played absolutely fantastic the whole game. He was in people's hip pockets. I think it's going to be Norman. And I think that Norman does present some unique challenges for Green Bay because of his height and his length. A little bit taller than Lenoir. A little bit bigger and more physical. He plays his zone better. That matchup is better for going against Devontae Adams, going against Allen Lazard, going against Scantling, all these guys. To me, it just makes more sense because of the way Green Bay is built. You don't want to see Randall Cobb on him. That's a little bit of a different mismatch. But I think that Lenoir has played very admirably. I thought he's did a very good job. He's been very successful for a rookie. But I think they would go with Josh Norman next to Emmanuel Moseley.
You're really not. This is my feeling, too, as well, after watching the All-22 film. Yeah, Lenoir had his moments, and you know what? He played very, very well. And he's been playing very, very well. But I have questions about his ability to cover deep. And I have questions about his ability to cover deep against a more physical wide receiver. Devontae Adams is that dude. He is that guy. And that brings up questions. You know who I'm not worried about being physical out in space? Emmanuel Moseley. Emmanuel Moseley, who's done it against DK Metcalf in the past. I mean, we've seen Moseley operate as a physical corner, getting up, pressing, and getting physical early and not getting torched or beat over the top. Did the same thing with Stephon Diggs against the Minnesota Vikings in the playoffs in 2019 as well. So Moseley has the repertoire. He has the experience. He's done that before. That's not the case for Demo. So, yeah, Demo's played great. Yeah, I would love Demo to be out in the field. If we don't have to put him out there, though, in this situation and really kick the tires on this kid and see if he's got it this early on, I don't want to. Let's roll with Norman if we can. Let's bring Demo in on maybe certain situations in certain areas of the field where you trust his quickness, and maybe that's short yardage situations, maybe that's red zone situations where you bring him in because you're less worried about his speed and things of that nature, and you give him an opportunity there. But if we can roll with Norman, I feel good. If we can roll with Norman and Moseley, I feel even better. And Demo has his opportunity to go out there and shine. That's great for this cornerback room. That's great for the defense.
There's less of a learning curve with Josh Norman now. He's been in the system. He understands it. But he fits this system and fits what they want to do with it. They're running more zone coverage, recently under DeMeco Ryans than they were last year under Robert Saleh. And we thought there was going to be somewhat of a shift this year to more man coverage. That hasn't been the case. Now, against Philadelphia, on third down, it was always man. You're not going to do that against Aaron Rodgers because it's Aaron Rodgers. And he will figure out what you're doing and pick you apart. So you're going to have to give a bunch of different looks. You're going to have to show a lot of shell coverages. And you're going to have to try to confuse him. And that's going to be through coverage and through blitz, through scheme. So you want somebody out there that understands route concepts, understands how to maneuver and play with these other guys. And I think Norman will just play better, a little bit more smoother. It's nothing against Lenoir because I think he's going to develop into being one great corner. I think at this time in this matchup with these players, he would make the most sense opposite of Norman makes the most sense opposite of Emmanuel Moseley. Moseley's a huge upgrade for this cornerback position. and puts the 49ers in a very good position to be successful and have opportunities to stop Aaron Rodgers, which could create opportunities for turnovers down the field because Jimmy Ward and Jaquiski Tartt, I think, are primed to have good games because you have big, tall receivers. Aaron Rodgers likes to give these guys opportunities and take chances down the field, and maybe we can convert on some interceptions.
That would be great. Interceptions, turnovers is going to make this game a lot easier for the 49ers, a lot easier for the offense, and the defense really, it'll get them juiced and a little bit more motivated, get that little kickstart they need to even play at a higher level and be more aggressive and want to, make up for the last two games, specifically week 1, but the last two games in which you got a big lead, you have an opportunity to put your foot on your throat, and you don't do it. This is an opportunity to get that done, and hopefully, right, the turnovers help them get that done a little bit earlier and really want to put that foot on the throat and finish this game before we even get to halftime. That would be great as a 49ers fan going into half, just knowing things in the bag, baby. Feels good, baby. Feels good. Feels great. 3-0. You love to see it. Let's hope the Niners can get it done. But now let's shift attention. Let's shift attention from that cornerback room and what's going on there with Mosley. It's a positive thing for the 49ers defense. It does open up questions as to who the guys are going to be, but at least now there's solid options rather than, oh my gosh, what are the options? Because that's what it is in the running back room right now. It's, oh my gosh, what are the options? Some running back updates for everybody. Before you're behind, obviously Elijah Mitchell is still out, not practicing at the moment. He's really, right now, is what they're talking about is pain. There's pain in the shoulder. So if there's no pain heading into Sunday, he'll be good to go. He'll be rolling. If there is pain, he probably won't be going. He won't be playing. Friday, today we'll give a good idea of that, right? Of where he's at and what the pain level is and what the pain tolerance level is. If he gets in a limited practice today, it's still doubtful. It's about 50-50 whether or not he goes or not. But if he doesn't get a practice in today, I would say his chances of playing are slim to none.
They're definitely going to wait till the last minute. They're going to wait until Sunday night, Sunday when they have to make their decisions. That's when they're going to wait because they want to make sure they give every opportunity for this guy to play because they know how important he is to this team. Him and Trey Sermon playing, Sunday against the Packers would be a huge get because then you have two guys that understand the offense and then can operate this offense, at a pretty high level. Two rookies that you wanted to draft and you can count on. So it would be really nice if Elijah Mitchell can play. And there is always a possibility that he hurts on Friday. He wakes up Saturday and the pain is gone. He wakes up Sunday and the pain is gone. I've seen this 1,000 times. I mean, who can forget Mighty Ducks? Banks got the shoulder problem, twisted. He's good. And then he's back. No, I mean, it does happen, though. Sometimes the pain goes away. Sometimes things change. So, I mean, I think they're going to leave every hope and every opportunity for him to come back. But they had to go ahead and secure and, insulate themselves in case something happens. And they went out and got a different group of guys that don't always fit what the 49ers are trying to do, but guys they can use in certain circumstance to do certain things. Let's just hope that we get Elijah Mitchell and Trey Sermon. I think we would all feel the best with that.
I know I would feel really good with it right now at this point in time, at this moment. Sermon is not officially cleared concussion protocol. That may change. That may have already changed before this goes up. So we'll see what happens with Trey Sermon there. It would be great if we could roll into this game with at least Trey Sermon. Even if Elijah Mitchell can't go, you have at least one guy that you can put the ball into his hands 10 to 15 times and be comfortable with production and what he can do. He's shown flashes. He showed some flashes last week in his one carry. He showed flashes in the preseason as well. Sometimes at practice also he had some moments. So this is a guy that you'd feel comfortabler with. Comfortabler with, but you're still not sure. You just don't know with the head, how he's feeling with that concussion. Right now, even if he clears concussion protocol, he gets out there. As soon as he starts having contact, things could change. Symptoms could pop up, and they could throw him right back into concussion protocol if that happens. As soon as there's some contact in space, concussions, head stuff, man, it's iffy. It's iffy, especially when he took a shot the way he did. You're not really going to get a good idea of where his mental is at and where his recovery level is at until he starts going full speed 100% and the blood's really flowing and pumping through his body.
Yeah, there's different things they have to do, and part of it is going through practices and make sure you're not getting dizzy, you're not getting sick, and all those things seem to be working out so far, so we'll see where he is. If he's not healthy, they're going to make sure they protect this guy and keep him out, but if he is, he's going to have the opportunity to play, and I think he wants to play, and I think the 49ers would love to have him out there, so hopefully it works out. Hopefully he's recovered. Maybe it wasn't as bad as it looked like on film, which can be the case at times. Absolutely. Sometimes things look a lot worse than they actually are, and then sometimes things don't look bad. Grazing blow, and it ends up being the worst. So you just never know with these kind of situations. But hopefully he's out there and he's playing for his sake and for the team. I think he could really benefit the team, but mostly because I know the young guys want to get out there and want to prove himself, and this will be a good opportunity for him to do.
Be a great opportunity for him to do it, Ant. And look, practice-wise, on Thursday, Armstead was out as well as Elijah Mitchell. So are you concerned about Armstead still being out, or is this sort of a thing where it's like, no, he's been playing A-OK just fine. There's no talks of setbacks. It's just him being out. They're really managing it right now. I can tell you what, right? He's had the limited practices leading into a full practice on Fridays in which he's looked, he's able to go, and then he gets into the game and he shines. So as long as this guy is healthy enough to play, I think he's going to have a huge impact. Do you think he's going to?
I think with Armstead, it's going to be hold out, and then he'll play. He'll have a limited practice on. So today he'll have a limited practice, and then he'll be good to go. Because I don't think they're really worried about him. I think he was able to play through it, and that's always a good sign. And then Kinlaw's been having limited practice all week, which is a good sign because he couldn't do that last week. So that's actually an improvement. He had some limited practice and he had some days off. So we're trending in the right direction for him. So they've found a way to manage what Kinlaw's doing. And then with Armstead, he knows how to manage his body. He's been able to get out there consistently every single year for football games. And this is what they have to do. Unfortunately, when you get into the season, there's going to be times that these guys miss practice time because of injuries, and you just have to make sure you address it and try to do your best to get them out there.
That's all you can do.
Yeah.
That's truly all it is. Sermon had limited practice. Mosley had limited practice. Kinlaw had limited practice. All those things trending the right way. Kinlaw putting together back-to-back limited practice days. Always a good sign. Mosley doing the same thing when last week he had a limited and then a DNP right after the limited practice. So, it's one of those things right now where the Niners, health-wise, at certain positions and key positions, trending the right direction. I get it. The running back room, been decimated. I understand concerns. I understand the frustration level for 49ers fans. But like you said, and like we've been talking about, these aren't season-ending injuries.
Yeah.
They are short-term. It's a nuisance and an inconvenience right now. It's not the end of days. No reason to panic. The apocalypse is not upon the San Francisco 49ers roster. We have not been decimated by injuries. We have contracted a little injury bug, a little tiny guy. He's a little pest. He's running around nipping people, keeping people out for a little bit of time. But eventually these guys will get back. They'll be healthy, and hopefully, right, they're able to get this one-off situation, these little freak things that are happening. They're able to keep those things away, stay healthy, keep their bodies right, keep their mental right, and we're able to roll through all of this right now. Hopefully get to 3-0, hopefully be 5-0 rolling into that bye where we have that full week to rest up, that full week to get healthy, and then come at the Colts coming into that Week 6 game and just take it to them.
Yeah, I think the key is going to be trying to get through these next 3 games, staying as healthy as possible while bridging the gap until you can get to where your running backs are coming back. Which is hopefully Indianapolis, where you'll get kind of a full group of guys coming back. That's what you're trying to do. And you know what? You have 2 NFC West games coming up, and in those 2 NFC West games, you're going to want to at least come away with the split. Now, you'd like to win them both, but that is the goal. So they need to go 2-1 in this stretch, and that'll get them through to get the running backs back. And I think everyone would feel comfortable with a 4-1 record for the 49ers. I think you would feel like this is a good start to the season, and with the fact that we've had injuries and yet they were able to overcome. But this is going to be a nice marker to see. Kyle Shanahan, we always talk about his system. We always talk about Mike McDaniel and how they can scheme it up. Can they scheme it up when they don't have the dudes? Can they scheme it up when they got dudes off the street that they're going to be bringing in and using their skill sets? Can they mismatch and put this together to be able to create magic with the guys that they have? That is going to be a key to watch and something that's going to be fun to watch. Are we going to come out of this game talking about, a Kerryon Johnson being a guy the 49ers need to have on the roster? Or, somebody like a Jacquez Patrick, like, oh, we have to have his bruising presence inside the red zone. I'm interested. I'm interested if Trenton Cannon is going to be running sweeps and getting on the outside and making plays. And the whole time everyone's like, how did Baltimore get rid of this guy? All questions I'm looking for. In the same regard, it could also be on Twitter, like, our running back room is a complete dumpster fire. We have no one. We can't keep anyone healthy. But that's what's part of exciting about being a fan. So I'm looking forward to what the reaction is going to be. But I am curious if Kyle Shanahan and Mike McDaniel can plug almost anyone in and this offense still go.
It's the big question. It's the question that needs to be answered. It's the exciting question. And
on beef?
No, it's not ready yet. It's not ready yet. The beef's not ready yet. We got something else we need to talk about first and dive into first. And before we get to that beef, which is, it's close. It's definitely close beef.
Is it roast beef or close beef?
It's close beef, and it's not roast beef.
Okay.
I've smelled roast beef before. It's close beef. Maybe that's because the people it's involved are close. Man, that's crazy.
Interesting.
Very interesting indeed. But look, we got to talk about this Deebo Samuel situation where he went on the radio and was discussing the big play that set up the second touchdown score, or excuse me, the first touchdown score to Juwan Jennings. Yeah. It got us into the red zone, in which they come out of the huddle, they break. Him and Trent Sherfield go and line up on the left side of the formation. Trent's on the outside, Deebo is in the slot, and Trent kind of looks over and is like, "Hey, dude, Deebo, my guy, what's up? You're not supposed to be here." It was a very interesting conversation. The fact that Deebo lined up incorrectly, Trent knew he was incorrect, but rather than at the last minute trying to get Deebo over to the other side of the formation because clock's ticking, you're trying to get down the field, you're not trying to kill any clock, they just kind of have a conversation back and forth between each other about, well, I can't go over. I'm here now. A scheme is this. We're looking to do this. I need you to run that safety off. I got you, fam. I got this. And they, on the fly, change the route combination and change the route concept so that, number one, you still hit the same sort of concept you were trying to get with Deebo on the other side of the field, opening up the middle of the field so that Deebo can come up underneath and sit in the zone. It just changes how it's executed. They still got it done, got it executed. And Jimmy Garoppolo still had the testicular fortitude to stand there in that pocket, knowing Deebo's not on the right side of the field, and throw a dime between three defenders. This is like the kind of stuff that legends are made out of, man.
This is the kind of stuff that frustrates a coach.
That too.
It's like, I've called this play, I want this play operated, and then they're in the wrong formation. It's like Bud Kilmer. That's not the formation. That's not the formation. Yeah, you're wondering what is going on. You could see it on the film when I watched it back. They are talking to each other, and Trent Sherfield, being the guy that he is, the smart guy that he is, knew what he had to do. He knew what route he needed to adjust. Jimmy Garoppolo knew there wasn't enough time to get Deebo Samuel to the other side of the field. You don't have timeouts. You can't be using your timeouts. But it did change the way the route looked. They still motioned JaMychal Hasty out, which draws a little bit of attention. And then you get Deebo running up, and he gets right in between the two defenders, and it's a great route. It's a great throw by Jimmy Garoppolo. But yeah, it's funny that one of the biggest plays of the game wasn't exactly executed as it was drawn up because they didn't get lined up right. That is an interesting thing, and I thought that was very cool to hear. It was interesting that he was open about it, that the fact that Deebo Samuel let everyone know that, yeah, that actually happened. I made a mistake. But look what happened. And maybe if it doesn't go well, he doesn't say that, right? But because he did, it's like, yeah, that's. But big ups to Jimmy Garoppolo and big ups to Trent Sherfield for taking care of business and executing what they had to do to make sure that they still got the play done. And it ends up being one of the biggest plays in the game. He gets inside the 10-yard line, and we all know the next play of the game, Juwan Jennings scores a touchdown. So big-time play. Yeah, the reaction from Wes Welker on the sideline afterwards, also fun.
Also hilarious. But McDaniels went into this a little bit as well and talked about this. Yeah. Right? He makes the call. They break the huddle. Deebo goes over to the left. He's like, that's not what I called. That's not what I called. That's not what I called. What are you doing, Deebo? Oh, Deebo, yes. Yes, Deebo. Woo! Yeah, right? That's, as a coach, that's exactly what it is. You call something, you draw something up, you see it starting to take shape, and you're like, yo, this is not what I asked you guys to do. What in the world are you doing? And then, from bad to worse, right? You're not executing. You didn't come out in the formation. Now the route concept's completely different. Now the ball's being thrown, and you're like, oh, God, this is going to end. So poor. Oh, it worked. Okay. I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it, but I'm not happy. I'm not necessarily happy about it, but I'll take it. Now's not the time to complain. We can talk about this later in film study. Right now, we're still going, right? We still get to do what we're going to do. I've done this before as a coach in basketball. Draw up a play, draw up a set, ball's moving around, but guys necessarily aren't doing exactly what you talked about or exactly what you've worked on, and all of a sudden somebody throws up a shot that you didn't want them to take because you've talked about it 1,000 times. I can get that shot anytime during the shot clock. I don't need you to take that shot here in this situation. He puts up and you're like, gosh, it went in. Stay ready. He pointed back to the bench, stay ready. If that happens again, regardless of whether or not it goes in, getting out of there.
Yeah.
Right? It's happened all the time.
Yeah, I like the no. Yes.
Yes. That's yes.
Yeah. And then every once in a while you get those coaches that do that, like, no. Just the way I drew it up.
That's what I'm talking about right there. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes football players just have to be football players and go out and make plays. This is a situation where, they made something out of nothing. Deebo made a mistake. Luckily, it worked out for them. I guarantee you this was a hotbed issue during film study Deebo Samuel was not praised for this. I can guarantee you. He was very criticized, and they went on him about this. They told the truth about this situation because he put his team in a bad situation because he wasn't prepared and knowing what he's supposed to do. So he'll have to make sure he executes the next time. But it was at least exciting. It's a fun story to hear. It all worked out, and that's why it's a fun story. If it doesn't work out,
Deebo Samuel could be in the doghouse. Deebo Samuel could be the guy outside sniffing around that doghouse. And
it could have been, but Deebo Samuel's leading the league in receiving yards.
It's true. It's true. And according to you and your Wild That's Bold, he's going to have 200 total yards of offense this week. So
that's right.
Nowhere near the doghouse at all, indeed.
Oh, no. If he was near the doghouse, he'd be getting a 2-story doghouse because it's...
Two-story doghouse with a nice jacuzzi spa in the backyard and a cryo-freeze therapy.
Well, there's a difference, bro. Deebo is a dog.
He is a dog.
Yeah.
You know that's right. You know that's right.
He's got so much skills.
This guy is absolutely his lights out. Deebo Samuel is fantastic, but... Oh, it's ready. And that beef is brewed. It's good to go. What is going on with this? Because that beef's familiar. I feel like I've had this beef with someone I'm close with. Yeah, that's a familial beef almost. What is it? What's going on?
So apparently LaFleur, Matt LaFleur,
okay, Packers head coach,
is having issues with Kyle Shanahan, or this is what Michael Silver is saying.
Oh, okay.
The story goes is that everyone knows Shanahan called LaFleur about Aaron Rodgers. There was a rumors that Aaron Rodgers was available, so he did his due diligence. He called and just said, "Hey, give me a heads up right here.
Give me the skinny. What's happening?
Let me know what's up, LaFleur." And he said, no. He said, no, it's not a thing. And so Kyle said, didn't think so. Hung up. That is kind of what happened with it. Well, Michael Silver adds an extra bit of layer to this as he talks about on draft day. The fact that they're having Mike McDaniel's on a Zoom call with LaFleur's brother Mike, who used to be with the 49ers, and then also with Robert Saleh. And they're kind of having a conversation back and forth. There's some stuff going on behind the scenes, and Kyle Shanahan ends up coming in and saying, basically like something to the effect of, I hope you guys don't do anything screwy and you go ahead and take who you're supposed to get because we haven't done any studies on Wilson. So you need to, hopefully you did that. And LaFleur says to him, well, I thought your quarterback was Aaron Rodgers. And Shanahan jokingly says back, yeah, but your brother won't return my phone call. And then LaFleur says, why would he?
Can you blame him? That's the direct quote.
Now, this is when it gets a little fishy. Is the report is that Shanahan gets a weird look on his face and then leaves the room. Visibly upset, apparently.
The direct quote from Silver. At this point, according to several people familiar with the call, not a single soul to be named here, Shanahan got visibly upset and hastily left the room. In his eyes, he had merely done due diligence on behalf of his franchise, but it was clear to all that Matt LaFleur viewed it differently. That's pretty dramatic, man. If I didn't know any better, I'd say this is the opening chapter leading into a murder mystery in which all the signs point to Matt LaFleur killing Kyle Shanahan over a dinner conversation.
And you know what? I respect Michael Silver. I respect the things he's done in the Bay Area as far as media and some of the ways that he covered the 49ers through all the years. But I think this is a big nothing. I think this is friends having a good time with each other, taking shots at each other. This just seems normal to me. I don't think it's a big deal. I think it was all done in a joking manner, but the way they're trying to pivot it or pit it is like it's the LaFleur's against Shanahan. I just don't think that's the case at all. I mean, do you think? If the roles were reversed, LaFleur would call Shanahan about Aaron Rodgers. So I just don't see it.
This is why this to me feels like a nothing. For two reasons. Number one, I don't think there's actually beef here. There's no actual beef. Shanahan and LaFleur
are both vegetarian.
It's vegetarian beef. Yeah. Also would explain why it smells familiar, since my mom was vegan for quite some time and made a lot I know it was a lot of vegan dishes. It was not great times, but that's beside the point. Because the other thing here that doesn't just add up to me is the fact that, well, number one, Shanahan and LaFleur both said there's not really much to this. There's no issue, there's no anything. But LaFleur would do the same, right? We know that. If there was an actual like true issue here, the issue would be something like Kyle Shanahan calling the general manager, right? And going behind LaFleur's back in order to have this conversation about Aaron Rodgers or talking directly to Rodgers or just directly to the agent. The fact that Kyle Shanahan picks up the phone and calls his best friend or a guy he's really close with or one of his best friends, right? How can there possibly be beef? He's being upfront and honest with the person who is upset, right, in this story that I can't believe Kyle would even put me in this situation. Put you in what situation? Who's putting you in this situation? Kyle Shanahan or Aaron Rodgers? Feels like it would be Aaron Rodgers, and that you're taking whatever frustration may exist for LaFleur and throwing it onto Kyle to create a more dramatic retelling of these events. Because it seems like everything leading up to the last couple tweets in this story, this tweet thread, sounds like friends joking around about the Aaron Rodgers situation and the fact that, Matt's having to deal with this and that Kyle, is calling and kind of adding to the turmoil a little bit, right? Giving his buddy a little bit of a rib. But also, hey, but seriously, if Aaron Rodgers is available, can we work something out here? There's got to be something we can do, right? Like, there had to have been something there. But there was no beef there. It's just an unfortunate circumstance for LaFleur. It's an unfortunate. Listen, the other thing he talks about in this, and that this is the only thing that maybe I could take out of this where he's drawing this from, where he's inferring this from. The fact that Rodgers and Niners GM John Lynch share an agent, David Dunn, contributed to the perception that there had been a coordinated effort to get Rodgers from the Packers to the Niners and to Mike LaFleur. Blood is clearly thicker than water. There's a lot of inferences there. Two guys sharing an agent doesn't mean necessarily A, anything. B, unless you can prove that there was some sort of coordinated effort on Matt LaFleur's part, unless you know, right, for a fact that this conversation was had behind the scenes at John Lynch. And if that were the case, and you can prove that, then 100% you have every reason to be upset. But again, you wouldn't be upset with Kyle Shanahan. You would be upset with Aaron Rodgers and John Lynch, who are the ones having this conversation. Not Kyle. Kyle's not the one having this conversation or generating it. It seems like a much ado about nothing. This seems like a bunch of malarkey nonsense, and the beef wasn't done. The beef wasn't done.
It's classic cheating scenario, right? Where the girl who's Aaron Rodgers is flirting with the 49ers. I mean, he was reported as saying that he wanted to go to the 49ers. So he's out there winking. He's out there, walking around.
Hi, Kyle.
Letting everyone know that he's available, and it's a nice piece.
Hey, that would explain the hair, dude.
But then what happens is then LaFleur, he's going to turn his attention and be upset at the people that's being courted, not the actual person that's committing the problem. Yeah, so I think that is what's being presented here. But look, Kyle already stated that he had talked to LaFleur about it, about the fact that he had asked about Aaron. He said no. But yet when he says it to his brother, he says, yeah, if he would answer me, he's being funny. He's making a joke because he's already had the conversation. He's making it look like his brother won't call him back. They know what's going on. This is all fun and games. These guys are friends. These guys have been together for a long time. It's a nothing story, but people are trying to create stories whenever Kyle Shanahan is involved, which is crazy. But they do want this game to be more juicy than ever. It's on Sunday night. They want it to be exciting. So they're trying to do it.
You need a good storyline, man. You need a good storyline.
Yeah, the good enough storyline is San Francisco 49ers versus Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers versus Jimmy Garoppolo, Aaron Rodgers versus this great 49ers defense, Kyle Shanahan versus LaFleur. There's plenty there. You don't need anything else.
Master versus Apprentice is already a really good storyline.
Yeah, you don't need anything else. This is already very similar, way they run the football team. I just don't think you need any more. Let's let the football do all the conversation. We don't need any of the extra.
Let the game play itself out. Don't add fuel to the fire. This thing is already raging. It doesn't need any more. I'm glad that the beef wasn't actually beef, and it's just
no blems.
No blems. No blems. The opposite of blems, actually. Just honest.
Yeah.
Just honesty and family. It's a family story. This is a family game here in week 3. We are excited for it. We hope you are too. Cutback crew, let us know in the comments section down below. Is this really beef? We got this wrong. And if so, why? The Mosley effect. Are you going to be happy if it's Mosley and Norman? Or is it time to pull the fire alarm? Get Mosley or Norman off the field and make sure Demo is out there. We want to hear from you. And if Trey Sermon is able to go, and even Elijah Mitchell, how comfortable and how excited are you about the running back room? Are the Niners going to now roll? Let us know about it down there in the comment section right now.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of good topics and conversations, and I'm curious how people take this. A lot of people are excited about Deommodore Lenoir. So I think there's going to be a lot of people that want Deommodore Lenoir to be out there. And if you do, tell us why. I do want to hear this because there are good reasons. There's good compelling arguments for both sides. and I'm here for all of it. I'm here to hear the conversation and have a great conversation about it. So let us know in the comment section. Let us know what you think about this cornerback room. I think we've talked a lot about running backs this week, but one thing we haven't got as far into is the cornerbacks. We were able to do that on this episode today, and I think it was exciting, but I'm curious what other people think, because I have my own opinions, but they definitely don't speak for everyone in 49ers land, and I'm okay with that, but I want to hear what people have to say, because it does interest me.
It's very true. We want to hear from you, Cutback crew. You all generate a lot of conversation on this channel, whether that's in the comment section or whether that's videos based off of the things that you're saying, the questions that you have, great points being made. We've talked about free agents, trade scenarios, tons of different things that the Cutback crew have left in the comment section. So make sure you're talking. You could be the reason why we have a video coming out and have great content for you to engage and interact with. So make sure you're commenting, make sure you're subscribed, make sure you hit that notification bell, head on over to Patreon as well for daily videos as well. We got things coming out there all week long. You don't want to miss any of that extra additional content that we have over there on Patreon. But Ant, just a few more days till game day, till week 3, and we get to see the 49ers take it to the Green Bay freaking Packers, and hopefully it doesn't end up like the Madden simulation from this morning.
Yeah, and if you want to know a way the 49ers need to win, you need to stick around for Jay in the Bay at 2 o'clock for his 5 big things that he's going to go over. 5 big things the 49ers need to do to win and beat Green Bay Packers. Make sure you stick around for that. It's exciting. That comes out at 2 o'clock. And then if you want to know more about Green Bay at 5:30, Know Your Opponent with Tyler Minting for Football Unlocked. You'll get to get all the information and all the skinny on Green Bay. We'll see how the Green Bay Packers measure up to the 49ers. And what will Tyler's score prediction be? It's going to be interesting. Who does he have winning this football game? Because he's very right down the middle as far as he sees football a certain way. He's not biased at all. So it's exciting. It's a good conversation. You'll really enjoy it.
You're going to enjoy it. You're going to enjoy all of it. There's tons of great stuff for you to enjoy on Friday. So make sure you indulge and all. Take a little taste of everything the Cutback has for you right here on the 49ers Cutback. Man, Ant, it was a good one. Cutback crew, until the next one, stay safe.
Remember, the right way is always the 49ers way.